Hi, this is Shubham, and in this video, we will be learning one real time practical example based on medical data. And this time, we have a data, and the user basically required to transform this data into a stack way. So, as you can see here, we have different columns available: likewise, MR code, patient age, gender, admission source, admission date, sample type, organism description, para description, and sensitivity. Now we have to transform these last two columns in such a way that instead of vertical, it could come as horizontal. And we need to not to have the duplicate records for each of the code. Now this is the raw data by the user, okay? And we need to transform in this way. So as you can see here, we have all these columns, but these are the unique values for each of the patients against the code and their relevant information. Plus, now you can see that these has been formed unstacked to stack data. Okay. So as you can see in the raw data, we have the two columns for para description and sensitivity. Here it is. And we need to transform it to an horizontal way like this. Okay. So I hope you got an idea. And now there are two methods to do this. So this is the raw data and this is the end solution. And we need to create the solution. There are two simple ways. One is using the dynamic array functions available in Excel 365, and the other way is to use the Power Query, which is the ETL tool for data transformation. Okay? So in this particular video, I will be telling you how to transform this data through Excel formulas and functions. Okay? You can try it out. If you are a user for Power Query, I mean that will give you another learning advantage. Okay, so let us start. I am starting from a very basic so that every user or viewer who is watching my video can pick. So I will insert a new sheet and let us rename this sheet as solution or any name you would like to give. So let's create a solution. So let's copy these headers, Control C, and in the solution we will paste them, okay? Make sure that the column width are adjusted. All right. Now for the MR course, we will be using a function called unique, which is available in Excel 365. The array would be from the data with because we have already transformed the raw data into a table format. Let me show you this is the raw data and I have selected that data and I have already converted that into table format. But if primarily you have not, so you can go to insert and click on table. Once you create this into a table format, you will find table design ribbon on top and go to table name and rename this table. So we have this table name as data. Okay. So let us apply unique. And here what we need is the code as a unique record. So we know the table, we know the name of our table name, and we will select the code column. Close the square bracket and round bracket, and that's it. We got the three codes available here. Now, based on these three codes, we need the other columns information. So for this, you have a choice. Either you can go with VLOOKUP index match or XLOOKUP function as per your feasibility and easiness. I will be doing VLOOKUP here. So equals to VLOOKUP. This is my VLOOKUP value. Make sure that you absolute the column here. Then the table array is the entire data which is being called the data here. Column index number will be different from each of the column from which we need to extract the data. And I don't want to keep it manual, this column index number. So instead, it writing like 2, 3, 4 to fetch the output from the data set. I will add a match function here in the column index number. So how to do it match? The lookup value will be this particular header item. Make sure that you absolute row here and first headers, okay? So we will call it data table and header. So here it is. From this drop down menu, select headers and then match type will be exact match. So we will be putting 0 here and close the bracket. And the last argument for VLOOKUP is exact match false. Press enter, copy downwards and then copy it rightwards, Control R, and you can see you have got all the additional information based on the code available here. For date format, what you can do is go to your raw data and copy any date cell. Go to cell of solution and paste special as format. So that will be correct here. Okay. So we got all the information based on our code with the combination of VLOOKUP and match function very easily. Okay. Now the next part is to basically have a para description. All these names as instead of vertical, we need horizontal and unique as well. Remember that. So we will be writing a logic here. So let me write here and make a zoom equals to unique to row and the array is data table. And we need to fetch the para description from here, then comma, ignore. If you need to ignore blanks, write 1 here. Ignore errors 2 or both of them 3. But we will keep blanks as well. So we will be going with default value that is 0 and then close the bracket. Okay. So as you can see here, you got all the values here in a unique form. Okay. Now the last part is to fetch the sensitivity status, either it's R or S from the data set. So let's do it. And we will be doing it with the help of a very good, awesome function that is called as filter. You can go alternate with any other logic if you think it is as I told you that this particular solution which I am making is through dynamic array and some certain functions and formulas. An alternative, as if you are a user of Power Query, you can solve that through Power Query as well. Okay. So in the filter function, the first argument is array. What you need as an output. So we need from the data table. We need the sensitivity field here as an array in the include. We need to build the logic. We build the criteria. So there are two criteria. Let's put it like this. Opening the two parentheses, round brackets. The first logic is from the data table. The code match the code which is equals to this cell which is in a to make sure that you absolute the column but map the row. This is the first logic and then multiply it with the second logic that will be data and the second logic will be based on para description which is equals to the first value and make sure that you have absolute row here. Okay. Close the bracket if empty. What you need to have. Okay. If it is empty, either 2 times inverted commas, which means blank, and close the bracket. So it returns that sensitivity according to two criteria. First is based on master code, and then the para description. Okay. Now copy the downwards and then rightwards. So now we got successfully either R or S according to the master codes and para description. These are the sensitivity you will find like 0 here as well. If you need to eliminate these 0 instead of blank values, what you can do is you can go to your logic and apply a substitute function substitute. So this is the text to go to end. Old text is 0 and new text is blank and close the bracket again. Copy downwards, Control D, select the range, Control R for rightwards copy and that's it. Right? So this is how we can unstack data into a different format. This was the raw data. This requirement, The requirement was like this, and we have successfully transformed in this way through dynamic array function. So, so the master code with the unique other information with VLOOKUP and match function. Then the combination of unique and two row, and the last one is using filter to fetch the values. Okay. Thank you.